All right. Thank you guys again for joining us today. Welcome to today's webinar, Weather Ready, Social Media Planning for Peak Storm Season. We're excited to welcome so many folks to our webinar today and look forward to sharing how you can start crafting a plan for keeping residents informed and prepared for extreme weather on social media. If you have questions, please drop those into the questions box as we go through today, and time permitting, we'll answer those at the end. Before we get started, just a little bit about us. Social News Desk empowers critical communicators with powerful, secure social media management and archiving software trusted by more than 10,000 professionals. We were founded in 2010, and since then we've proudly supported America's largest news companies, cities, government agencies, school districts, universities, and businesses who require powerful, always-on social media tools. And a little bit about me. I'm Sarah Loyd, the head of product success and evangelism here at Social News Desk. I've been with the team for 11 years, and prior to joining SND, I managed social media and worked in several newsrooms and was actually a customer of Social News Desk before I joined the team. So feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. The address is right there on the screen. So during hurricanes and severe weather, social media becomes one of the fastest, most accessible ways to reach the public, especially when traditional communication channels are down or overloaded. Many people turn to Facebook and Instagram before checking a website or watching the news. It's the first place they look for shelter info, road closures, or emergency alerts. Even when the power is out, mobile networks often still function, and people rely on their phones and social media to stay informed. For residents who are scared or confused, your post can provide reassurance, direction, and real-time updates that can truly save lives. Social media also helps you reach vulnerable populations quickly, whether it's parents trying to locate info on schools, seniors needing to check on resources, or people in rural areas who need evacuation guidance. In short, clear, timely social media updates can reduce panic, correct misinformation, and help your community make safer decisions. During a weather crisis, misinformation spreads fast and often faster than official updates. People share outdated forecasts, false evacuation notices, or dramatic but inaccurate images just to get attention. Your official pages are competing for visibility with content that's often designed to scare, mislead, or go viral. Some of this information is well-meaning, namers trying to help but sharing bad information, but other times it's deliberate clickbait or disinformation that erodes public trust. That's why it's critical to post often, post clearly, and stay ahead. Frequent updates help position your account as the trusted go-to source. Using plain language, consistent branding, and verified facts helps your content stand out and cut through the noise. Monitoring comments and social chatter can also help you quickly identify and correct false narratives before they take hold. When a storm is approaching, the clock is ticking, and one of our most important responsibilities is to help residents stay informed, calm, and ready. In this section, we'll talk about how to use social media to keep your community prepared before the storm hits. From clear messaging and trusted visuals to scheduled updates and multi-language communication, preparation is where your strategy begins. Let's walk through the tactics that can make your messaging more effective and your residents more resilient. Don't wait for the storm to start creating content. Build a library of evergreen graphics, articles, and videos that can be used or updated at any time. Evergreen content includes things like how to prepare for a storm, what to include in an emergency kit, local shelter information and evacuation routes, power outage safety tips, and flood zone maps or sandbag locations. These assets can be scheduled in advance or quickly deployed when a storm is approaching, giving your team a head start. Make sure to design content with clarity, bold text, clean visuals, and easy to understand language. This is especially important for social platforms where users are scanning fast. Having pre-approved evergreen content saves time and reduces pressure during high-stress moments, ensuring that your messaging is still accurate and effective. Store these assets in a shared drive or your social media publishing platform so everyone on your team can access them when needed. During severe weather season, and especially as a storm approaches, it's important to remind residents frequently of key safety recommendations. Don't assume your audience has seen a past post. Social media algorithms don't show every message to every follower, so repetition is essential. Rotate through tips on topics like how to safely use a generator, what to do if the power goes out, when to avoid flooded roads, where to find shelter, and how to sign up for emergency alerts. Use a consistent format or branded graphic to make safety tips easily recognizable in the feed. And consider posting the same tip in different formats: a photo, a short video, a live Q&A, or a carousel post to maximize reach. Regular safety reminders not only inform but build trust, showing that your organization is proactive, reliable, and looking out for the community. Trust isn't built overnight, it's built in the days and weeks before a storm hits. So use social media to show that your organization is prepared, proactive, and ready to support the community. Share behind the scenes content like crews checking equipment, sandbag stations being set up, emergency operations centers or newsrooms doing prep drills, and staff loading supplies or testing communication systems. These kinds of posts reassure the public that you're taking the threat seriously and working ahead of time to protect them. This also helps humanize your organization, showing the faces of the team behind the response builds connection and credibility. When residents see preparation happening in real time, they're more likely to follow official guidance when the storm arrives. The bottom line, the trust you build before the storm hits is what keeps people listening when it matters most. In a crisis, every minute counts, and having a pre-written standby statement lets you publish quickly while still waiting on full details. A standby statement is a template or placeholder message that acknowledges the situation, sets expectations, and lets people know more info is coming. It helps you avoid long delays in communication while you're still gathering facts or waiting for official confirmation. A good standby statement includes a clear acknowledgement of the situation, such as, "We are aware of a developing incident." What the public should do now, please stay tuned for updates from official sources, and when to expect more information. We'll provide additional details as soon as possible. For example, we're aware of a developing situation related to Hurricane Zeta. Our team is actively monitoring and will share updates here as new information becomes available. Please follow official pages for the latest alerts. Having this standby statement ready in advance helps your team move fast, stay consistent, and build public confidence. Social media is powerful, but it's just one tool, so don't rely on it alone during a hurricane or other emergency. Encourage residents to sign up for official text or email alerts, which can deliver urgent messages even if social media isn't accessible. Promote your mobile app, if available, as another trusted source for push notifications, maps, or shelter info. Consider pairing social posts with reminders like "Get alerts directly to your phone, sign up for text notifications today," or "Download our app for real-time updates, storm shelter locations, and more." In a crisis, redundancy is safety. The more ways you reach your community, the more likely they are to get the message in time. Use calm weather days to promote these tools so people are ready before the storm hits. During a severe weather event, everyone has the same goal: keeping the public safe, informed, and prepared. That's why collaboration between government agencies and journalists is so important. Journalists can help amplify official messages, clarify public guidance, and share life-saving information faster and farther. Public agencies can support media outlets by providing timely, accurate updates and access to trusted visuals or official spokespeople. Strong collaboration ensures consistent messaging, reducing confusion and stopping the spread of conflicting or incomplete information. Make those relationships now. Connect with local reporters, newsroom social media teams, and PIOs in neighboring agencies before the storm hits. When government communicators and the media work together, the result is stronger public trust and better outcomes for the entire community. When severe weather hits, clear and consistent communication becomes one of the most vital tools for protecting your community. In this section, we'll explore how to maintain steady, effective messaging during the storm. From timely updates and safety instructions to monitoring social media chatter, your communication efforts can save lives and reduce confusion. So let's dive into best practices for keeping your residents informed and supported through every phase of the emergency. When managing communications during severe weather, it's critical to centralize your messaging through your main official channels, such as your agency or newsroom's primary social media pages and website. Having one main source for updates helps prevent confusion that can come from multiple conflicting messages scattered across various accounts. It ensures residents know exactly where to look for the latest and most accurate information. Encourage your community to follow your official accounts ahead of time, so when a storm approaches, they're already connected and receiving real-time updates. Promote these main channels regularly during calmer times to build your follower base and establish trust. During the emergency, use these centralized pages to post timely updates, safety instructions, shelter information, and any changes in plans. Centralizing your communications makes it easier to manage your messaging, respond to questions, and keep your community informed with consistent, reliable information. During a hurricane or other emergency, it's important to reschedule any regularly scheduled social media content that doesn't directly relate to the crisis. This means rescheduling routine posts like promotional messages, event announcements, or non-urgent updates that could distract or confuse your audience. Also, pause any automated publishing workflows to avoid sending content that might seem out of touch during the emergency. Instead, focus your channels solely on timely, relevant information that helps keep residents safe and informed. This pause helps maintain the seriousness of your messaging and ensures your community knows that your priority is their safety. After the emergency passes, you can resume regular posting and review your calendar to adjust as needed. When we're communicating during a weather emergency, it's important to remember that the people receiving our messages are often scared, stressed, and confused. They're looking for clear guidance, something to help them understand what's happening and what they should do next. That means our messaging needs to be calm, clear, and concise. So let's break that down. First, calm. The tone of your message can either reassure or escalate anxiety. Use a steady, authoritative voice. Avoid language that's alarmist or speculative. Instead, focus on facts and what's being done to keep everyone safe. When people feel calm, they're more likely to listen and follow instructions. Next, clear. Your messages should be easy to understand for all audiences. Think about people who may not speak English fluently or who are quickly scrolling on their phones. Avoid jargon or complicated terms. Use short sentences, simple words, and direct instructions like evacuate now or seek shelter immediately. Finally, concise. People don't have time to read long paragraphs during a crisis, so get to the point quickly. Highlight the most critical information first, what the threat is, what action to take, and where to find help or updates. Repeat those key points often, since not everyone sees every post or message. It's also helpful to keep your content consistent across all platforms and spokespeople to avoid confusion. Consistency builds trust. By communicating in a calm, clear, and concise way, you help your community stay informed without adding to their stress. It empowers them to make safer choices and stay connected during the storm. One of the most important parts of your messaging during a severe weather event is a clear call to action. If residents need to take specific steps, whether it's evacuating, seeking shelter, or preparing emergency supplies, tell them exactly what to do, where to go, and when. For example, if there's an evacuation order, provide details on which areas are affected, recommended routes, and locations of shelters. Don't assume people will infer the urgency. Spell it out clearly and simply. Calls to action help turn information into life-saving decisions, so make them stand out in your posts, alerts, and updates. And remember to repeat these instructions as needed because timely action can save lives. When it comes to communicating during a hurricane or any weather emergency, visuals are one of your most powerful tools. People scroll quickly through social media feeds, so your images and videos need to stop the scroll, grab people's attention immediately, and deliver your message at a glance. The key is to keep visuals simple and clear. Avoid cluttered graphics or dense blocks of text that people won't read in a crisis. Instead, use bold, easy-to-read fonts and contrasting colors that make the message pop. Use icons, symbols, or simple photos that relate directly to the message, like a shelter icon for evacuation notices or a rain cloud for weather updates. Infographics or checklists work well when you need to share step-by-step instructions, but keep them minimalistic. Highlight only the most essential information. Remember, your goal is to convey critical info fast. If viewers understand your message in just a second or two, they're more likely to act on it. Finally, be consistent with your visual style and branding so your community immediately recognizes your posts as official and trustworthy. In short, clear, simple, and bold visuals help your messages cut through the noise when it matters most. One simple but effective best practice during weather communications is to include timestamps directly in your post text. When residents scroll through their feeds, they often see a mix of old and new posts from many sources. Adding a clear timestamp, like updated at 3:45 p.m. or as of September 12th at 10 o'clock a.m., helps people quickly identify which updates are the most recent and reliable. This clarity is crucial during a fast-changing emergency where information can become outdated within minutes. It also builds trust. When people see a timestamp, they know your message is fresh and that you're actively monitoring the situation. For example, a post might say, road closure update as of 4:30 p.m. today. Highway 50 remains closed between mile marker 20 and 30 due to flooding. You can update the timestamp every time you share new information or repeat important posts to ensure that the public stays informed with the latest details. Including timestamps reduces confusion and helps your community make decisions based on the newest, most accurate information available. When sharing critical information during a weather emergency, to ensure everyone in your community can receive and understand your messages. One key practice is to always include important details directly in the text of your post, not just in images or videos. While visuals are powerful, they're often not accessible to people using screen readers or those with visual impairments. For example, if you post a graphic with shelter locations, make sure the exact shelter names, addresses, and any important instructions are also spelled out in the caption or post text. Think about how screen readers will interpret your content. Avoid overly complex language, keep emojis to a minimum, and keep sentences clear and straightforward. If you're posting videos, include captions or transcripts so those who are deaf or hard of hearing can follow along. By making your social content accessible, you ensure that your emergency messaging truly reaches everyone who needs it, regardless of ability. Accessibility is not just a best practice, it's a critical part of inclusive, responsible communication during crises. Effective communication during a weather emergency is a team effort. So again, to reach the widest audience and ensure consistent messaging, it's crucial that government agencies and media partners coordinate closely. Government communicators provide the official information that the public needs to stay safe, such as safety updates, shelter locations, and evacuation orders. Meanwhile, journalists and newsrooms amplify these messages to large, diverse audiences, often adding context and immediacy. By collaborating ahead of and during a storm, you can avoid conflicting information, reduce public confusion, and improve overall trust. This means sharing key messages, timing announcements strategically, and aligning on facts and terminology. Coordination can happen through regular check-ins, shared messaging plans, or even direct access to official spokespersons. When government and media work as partners, the public receives timely, accurate, and clear updates through multiple trusted channels. This joint effort ultimately saves lives by helping residents make informed decisions quickly. So build those relationships early, keep communication lines open, and leverage each other's strengths to keep your community safe. Social listening is a powerful tool for emergency response teams during a hurricane or severe weather event. Tools like SND's Search and Listen allow you to monitor public conversations across social media in real time, helping you identify where help or resources might be needed most. For example, residents may post about flooded streets, downed power lines, or urgent medical needs before those issues appear through official channels. By listening to these posts, your team can gain situational awareness beyond traditional reports. Social listening also helps you spot misinformation or rumors early so you can address and correct them quickly to prevent panic or confusion. Additionally, by tracking frequently asked questions, you can tailor your communications to address the community's immediate concerns more effectively. In short, social listening turns social media into a two-way communication channel, not just broadcasting information, but actively hearing and responding to the needs of your community during the storm. Residents will use comments and direct messages to ask questions, report conditions, or request help. It's essential to actively monitor and respond to these communications to maintain trust and provide timely assistance. Tools like Social News Desk's inbox make it easier to manage all incoming comments and messages from multiple social accounts in one place. This helps your team stay organized and ensures no important question gets missed. By reading and responding promptly, you can clarify misinformation, address urgent needs, and show the public that their voices are heard. Even quick acknowledgments or directing people to resources can make a big difference. Make sure your team has clear guidelines on response protocols, what questions to answer, which issues to escalate, and how to maintain a compassionate, helpful tone. Active engagement during a crisis strengthens community trust and can even save lives by connecting residents with critical information and support. In any crisis, misinformation can spread quickly, sometimes unintentionally, sometimes deliberately. Rumors and false reports can cause confusion, fear, and even dangerous decisions. As official communicators, it's critical that we actively monitor for misinformation and respond promptly. If you see rumors circulating in the community, whether in comments, direct messages, or other posts, consider addressing them directly. You can reply in the comments with clear, factual information to correct misunderstandings and provide trusted sources. For widespread or persistent rumors, it's often best to create an official post from your main channels that clearly debunks the false information. Transparency and timeliness are key. When you proactively address misinformation, you help maintain public trust and keep people focused on accurate safety guidance. Remember, your official accounts are trusted voices. Use that authority to cut through the noise and ensure your community gets the facts. Once the storm has passed, the work is far from over. The post-storm recovery phase is critical for helping your community rebuild, stay safe, and get back to normal as quickly as possible. In this section, we'll cover how to use social media to share important updates about road reopenings, utility restorations, shelter availability, and recovery resources. We'll also discuss strategies for addressing ongoing concerns, managing misinformation, and maintaining clear communication as your community heals. Let's explore how effective post-storm communication can support resilience and recovery. Even after the storm's initial impact has passed, dangers often remain. Flooded roads, downed power lines, contaminated water, and unstable structures can all pose serious risks to residents. It's vital to keep your community informed about these ongoing hazards so they can stay safe. Use your social channels to share regular updates about areas to avoid, safety precautions, and where to get help or report emergencies. Remind residents that recovery takes time and encourage patience, caution, and continued vigilance. Clear, consistent communication during this phase helps prevent injuries and supports a smoother recovery for everyone. Keep the information timely and specific, and don't hesitate to repeat key warnings. People often need to hear them multiple times to take them seriously. By staying connected and transparent about lingering dangers, you reinforce your role as a trusted source and help your community navigate the path to safety. After the storm, your community will also need clear guidance on how to access essential recovery resources. Use your social media channels to regularly share information about where residents can find food, shelter, medical care, and cleanup assistance. Provide details on how and where to apply for disaster aid, report damage, or file insurance claims, breaking down the steps to make the process easier to understand. Frequent updates help ensure no one misses critical support, and they reinforce your agency as a reliable source during recovery. And remember, recovery can take time, so continue posting these resources consistently to reach everyone who needs help. Clear, ongoing communication empowers your community to rebuild safely and with confidence. In the days and weeks and even months after a severe weather event, sharing stories of resilience can be a powerful way to connect with your community. Highlight how residents, first responders, volunteers, and local businesses are coming together to rebuild and recover. These stories remind everyone that even after great challenges, hope and strength endure. Sharing personal experiences, whether it's a family reopening their home, a neighborhood cleanup effort, or a local shelter providing support, helps humanize the recovery process and fosters a sense of unity. Encourage your community to share their own stories and photos and amplify those messages on your social channels to build morale and inspire others. These narratives not only celebrate progress, but also keep the focus on healing and moving forward, reinforcing the resilience that defines your community. During and after a hurricane or other storm emergency, it's also important to spotlight the incredible acts of heroism happening in your community, especially the stories of neighbors helping neighbors. These stories remind us that in times of crisis, ordinary people step up to do extraordinary things, checking on the elderly, sharing supplies, rescuing those in danger, or simply offering support and kindness. Sharing these examples not only honors the courage and compassion of your community members, but also inspires others to get involved and look out for one another. Highlighting these acts builds a sense of solidarity and hope, showing that even in the toughest moments, we're stronger together. Encourage your residents to share their own stories and celebrate the everyday heroes around them, because these narratives are a vital part of recovery and healing. During storm response, monitoring public feedback on social media is just as important as sharing updates. Your community will have questions, concerns, and sometimes fears, and they'll often express these in comments, messages, or rumors online. It's critical to listen actively and respond with empathy. Acknowledge people's feelings, provide clear and accurate information, and offer reassurance wherever possible. Responding empathetically helps build trust and shows that your agency cares about the community's well-being, not just delivering messages. When addressing rumors or misinformation, do so gently but firmly. Correct the facts without dismissing people's concerns. Remember, your tone can either calm or escalate tensions, so prioritize compassion and clarity in every response. This kind of two-way communication strengthens relationships and encourages the public to stay engaged with your official updates. Effective crisis management relies on having the right tools in place before, during, and after an emergency. In this section, we'll explore the essential technology that helps your team stay organized, communicate clearly, and respond quickly during a crisis. From centralized social media management to real-time monitoring and reporting, these tools empower you to keep your community informed and safe when it matters most. So let's dive into how these solutions can support your emergency communications workflow. During severe weather, speed and coordination are critical. Centralized social media management ensures your entire team is working from a single unified platform. Avoid confusion or duplicate efforts by managing multiple agency or department accounts, such as your EOC, police, fire, city, news, and weather, in one place. Centralized access allows for faster messaging, more consistent tone, and coordinated updates across platforms like Facebook, Instagram, etc. This is especially valuable when working with rotating staff. Everyone can plug into the same system without extra setup. Not everyone on your team needs the same level of access, and during an emergency, limiting who can publish versus who can draft or monitor is key to preventing errors. Granular permissions let you delegate safely. Field staff can draft updates without accidentally publishing, and senior staff can review and approve. You can assign access by platform, region, department, or role, helping to maintain message discipline while still moving quickly. Emergencies unfold in real time, not just in official channels, but also in what the public is saying on social media. Social listening lets you monitor for keywords, hashtags, or location-based posts to spot emerging issues, misinformation, or urgent needs. You can identify power outages, flooded roads, or shelter requests before they're reported through official lines. Listening also helps you gauge public sentiment and adjust your messaging accordingly to calm fears, clarify confusion, etc. In a storm, your social posts become two-way communication, so comment management is crucial. Quickly respond to questions like, where's the nearest shelter, or why is this road closed? Reading through comments helps you identify common concerns so you can address them in future updates or official messaging. After the storm, leadership and the public will want to know, how did we communicate? What worked? Reporting tools give you metrics like post reach, engagement, top performing content, and post volume so you can measure impact. This helps to justify staffing, tools, or processes to improve for the next event. We have a couple of ebooks available from our website that are great resources as you plan ahead for emergency coverage on social media. Check out the Social Media Tools for Effective Emergency Response ebook, as well as Using Nextdoor for Critical Civic Communication. These ebooks were developed with emergency management experts and are free to download at the QR codes on your screen. And we'll also be sending these resources out in an email after the webinar. So if you aren't able to grab those QR codes right now, no problem. You should get these resources in your email in the next day or two. So before we get into our Q&A, if you would like more information about Social News Desk, please reach out to us at sales@socialnewsdesk.com, or feel free to start a free trial at socialnewsdesk.com/demo, and our friendly team will be more than happy to help you out. So let's go ahead and dive into some Q&A. Let's see what we have. What's the best way to deal with misinformation or unverified posts spreading in the middle of a crisis? So I always recommend, first of all, using those social listening tools in order to gauge what misinformation may be out there. Usually you'll start seeing that pop up in comments or messages, and even other posts on social media. And then once you see those messages out there, you can respond to them. Either respond in the comments, respond directly to messages, or put out a post addressing misinformation. And of course, when government communicators and media collaborate, you can make sure that you can amplify those messages to a wider audience to address that misinformation. What are some effective strategies for reaching and engaging residents who aren't on social media? In addition to updating the city website, sending emergency alerts, which may be used sparingly and offer limited detail, and partnering with local media, what other methods can help ensure they stay informed during a major weather event? So I would often rely on the community that is on message ahead of the storm. So obviously during a storm, they're not going to be checking in with your social media, but amplifying the message of download our app, sign up for alerts early, those kinds of things are going to help, help your community kind of embrace the people who aren't on social media. And there are also social media platforms like Nextdoor that are in use by some people that are not using things like Facebook or Instagram or things like that. So don't forget about Nextdoor as a great resource. It's a little bit of a non-traditional social network, but they also recently put out a big push for local news and media coverage on Nextdoor. So that's a really helpful tool as well. I know that is still social media, but it's kind of a different audience than some of the other social networks out there. But definitely when you're encouraging your residents to sign up for alerts and things like that, encourage them to bring their friends in, encourage them to make sure that their family members, elderly family members especially, are connected in some way. All right, let's see. How often should we post during a storm or emergency? So there's no one-size-fits-all answer, but consistency matters. You can share updates whenever there's a major change, a new instruction, or a developing situation. And be sure to repost key information like shelter locations or road closures every few hours, because especially if it's urgent or likely to be missed in the scroll. All right, let's see. How can we prepare social media content in advance without knowing exactly what the storm will bring? So again, creating evergreen content that covers common needs like emergency kits, evacuation routes, shelter info, and safety tips. Those can be scheduled or quickly adapted as the situation develops. A lot of folks like to use tools like Canva to develop infographics that they can then customize on the fly. But the key is to have a library of ready-to-go assets so that you're not starting from scratch when you're under pressure. All right. What metrics should we track after the storm to evaluate our communication efforts? I would recommend looking at post reach and engagement, especially shares and comments. as well as follower growth and the volume or tone of incoming messages. Those kinds of insights can help you assess what worked, how many people you reached, where you need more clarity, and how you can improve next time. All right. Should we allow comments on emergency posts or turn them off? So I've seen it both ways, but in most cases, it's helpful to keep comments on because they allow that two-way communication and give you an insight into community needs. And some pages can use moderation tools to filter for profanity or misinformation. And you should also be prepared to respond to urgent questions when possible. And I know for certain types of pages, like some government entities, they're not allowed to turn comments off, so be sure you're aware of local guidance there. All right, what kinds of permissions or roles can be set up in SND dashboard to ensure the right team members post at the right time during an emergency? So I would make sure that your key communicators have full publish access to the main accounts and any other supplementary accounts that they may need. And this is something you can change, from time to time. So if there's someone that you've kind of deputized to help out with social media during a situation, you can make sure that they have access to more accounts than usual if you need to, or fewer accounts than usual if you want to make sure that they're staying focused on just the main accounts. We also have tools that allow you to go through an approvals process. So you can set someone up to be able to draft pieces of content, and then they can submit those for approval. Your approver will get a notification, and then they can approve, edit, or reject the message as needed. So it makes it really easy to get in there and get those messages approved. All right, how do you balance scheduled posts with the need for real-time updates during a storm? So again, I recommend if you have scheduled posts that are not related to the immediate crisis, I would definitely reschedule those for, a couple of days later. You can always reschedule them if needed, or you can put them in drafts. You can also make sure that you've turned off any automated messaging. But you can also schedule content. If you need to schedule, updates regularly, you can schedule those reminders for things like, evacuation routes and, where to find shelter and things like that. The information that needs to be repeated and really can't be repeated too much because not everyone is going to see every post. So you can use your scheduling tools to help out with that. So you're not having to do all of that in real time. And then that frees you up more to post updates in real time as you get new information that people need to know. All right, when should we resume regular or scheduled content after the storm? So of course, wait until the immediate danger has passed and your community is in recovery mode. And you can start by shifting to that recovery related content such as cleanup info or resources or insurance information, and then gradually reintroduce your regular posts. And of course, be sensitive to tone and timing because your audience may still be experiencing some hardship. All right, it looks like those are all of our questions. So thank you guys again so much for attending today's webinar. We have recorded this. We will be sending this out. So if you want to share it with someone, you're more than welcome to. But otherwise, hope you guys have a great rest of the day and please stay safe during this storm season.